Some of y'all are gonna have a hard time getting money, and I'm gonna tell you why. Cause the feminine energy is heavy. For me, I've dealt with feminine energies. I like to take walks so I can actually be in movement, dealing with the energies that I'm dealing with. I don't like to just sit around. I like to listen to frequencies and subliminals, but truth be told, I do it in a very chaotic way, and it for most people, chaotic this frequency listening isn't as effective. But so I do like to do spirit in motion by walking and trying to kind of figure out what energies I'm dealing with for the most part. And I remember not like a couple of weeks ago, I did a famine walk. So what I did was I kept trying to figure out what was going on. I realized I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to deal with famine, and that's why I keep having issues. And it's not that I'm a famine energy, but I've learned about the money chakra. And I would tell y'all, okay, this is how I learned about the money chakra. The money chakra is an aspect of the chakra that specifically projects your reality of money. And that's really what a chakra is. So, and I learned it through, there was this energy around me, because there's a lot of different females that's around me that I know kind of what their forms are or some aspect of their form in the spirit world. And this one was she's associated with the Egyptian money spell group. So I remember, like, I don't know if she was around, but I just remember money chakra. And I'm like, money chakra? So then I said, okay. So then I started playing around with trying to heal my money chakra. And this is when I got into seeing skeletons. And when you start healing and you can kind of, whether it's empathically feeling it or seeing it, I'm like, oh shit, there's dead broke, meaning there's some sort of dead energies in your, the energy where your chakra is. So that's why you're always broke, because you're dealing with spells in association to money. And if you've been attacked for a while or have a curse in regards to your money, it kind of sits in that particular area, and they can either keep drawing from it. That's why a lot of them don't like people dealing with their sacral or sex energies because of that. So, but yeah, so when I did it, I realized, I said, wait a minute, you need to work on your, not just your sacral, but I kept getting famine, the four horsemen. And if you're into like what I kept processing was revelations and the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And so when you deal with the four horsemen of the apocalypse, you're dealing with famine, death, the pale horse, and famine, death, pale horse, and war, I believe. So I don't know the exact names, but those are the four. And famine is one of them. And I was like, famine. And I know one of the energies energetically was kind of like, oh, they was like, oh, you're going to have to deal with a lot of famine energies. And whatever situation you're in, the contingent on how you deal with them, you could be dealing with them until September, which is kind of scary to think about, but it's also them saying it's up to you, because the famine energies can cause desolate with your money. And that's what makes famine a little bit more difficult and frustrating to deal with, because it has a lot to do with your money. It really has a lot to do with your finances and money. So I thought that was interesting. And a lot of people outside of sacral energies, because sacral is the layman's aspect, but it's really the famine energies. The famine energies. And no lie, I'm not going to sit here in front of you. As soon as I had that realization, I felt like I kept running into people that we're literally holding famine and the spirit of poverty. Because once you start healing money specifically and you do it through magic, you start running into famine energies, the poverty energies. And they're telling me you're dealing with piss poor and all these words and things that you may not think about, but that's been subconsciously rooted into energetically. But when you're dealing with the famine, that's dealing with revelations. When you're dealing with the poverty, that's dealing with the aspect of just the poverty mindset. But not only the poverty mindset, but the literal spirits of poverty. And people around you hold poverty. If you heal through spirituality, heal your money issues through spirituality and not hustle, you see money completely different. You see money on a spirit level. You start to feel and get sensitive to poverty. And that poverty tries to pull you back because remember, you've always been dealing with poverty for a long time. It could be a family curse with poverty. It could be a lot of things. So poverty is going to fight you back. And it can be more of a lesson, but the real energies of poverty, the real energies of famine, those real energies along with the dead, broken, all that, those are the energies that when you're dealing with your sacral, but you're also specifically dealing with that money chakra, that's when you start to have real issues because everybody isn't necessarily people are gonna the highly developed ones and advanced, they're gonna be running the famine in the spirit of poverty. And if they heal their energies through magic, however they want to heal their energies, they're gonna keep running into those poverty energies and the famine energies. And one way to recognize it is to keep we're all gonna have to collectively go back to doing things that keep our mind money focused, finance and credit, things that are money focused, because that's probably going to be one of the easiest ways to always focus on or identify maybe the energies that you shouldn't be around. Because it's not necessarily a homeless person. It's not always a person that drives the worst car to y'all. It literally can be the person in a BMW, because Spirit was showing me one of the people that's holding the energy of famine drove a Cybertruck, and you would think famine and Cybertruck in the same sentence. And I could be wrong or I could be right about it, but I do know that the energy of famine can come from anywhere, and the energy of poverty can come from anywhere, and it's not always about looks. It's not always about the physicality of poverty. Now, one of the things you can do to heal the money chakra is obvious, the affirmations, but specifically thinking and attuning yourself to affirmations. Some people can go through meditation. Some people can start to do money rituals and the cinnamon bags, and even in spirituality, money. You gotta survive. You gotta take care of yourself. And you don't have to. You can go the poverty route. That's a choice. Some of us, we have, unfortunately, situations that put us in a situation where we gotta now take care of poverty and famine and get rid of those energies for ancestors that are not helping us. Or not gonna say ancestors, family that's not helping us. But, long story short, on a positive or a higher vibe tip is, the money chakra is important. Focus on it. Try to figure out your unique gifts. Use the juice of your ancestors. Use the juice of your family to figure out how to address your money chakra. I can only tell y'all until I really get deep into it. Because I've done things but it's abstract. That's my little thing. Find y'all things to deal with it. Find y'all ways to deal with y'all sacral, to deal with y'all money energies, so that y'all can figure out how to address those problems, because it's deeper than, because the more you get to your money chakra, the more tests you're going to have. And it's not going to be if you got a job, if you get money, if you have physical money. It's going to be identifying and seeing things, for me at least. For some people, it's going to be finding more money randomly and money just popping up out of nowhere. And for some people, it's going to get wild. And hopefully, in the next couple of months, we'll have more stories in regards to the magic of how money really works. But until then, dealing with that money chakra and using magic, using meditation, affirmations, and whatever other energies y'all family spirit or your spiritual family does, it's crystals, whatever, the grids, crystal grids, whatever y'all family does to actually take care, or the spiritual things your spiritual family does, apply that to the sacral chakra. And it also apply to your money chakra, so that we can start to take care of ourselves without depending on the world, or depending, because they're waiting for y'all to be targeted individuals again. They're waiting for y'all to be targeted individuals, so that they can start their process all over again. Because there is technology in some of the things that we deal with, but to stay really, really, really on the high vibe side, dealing with those family energies and dealing with that spirit of poverty, however you do it, that should be, for some of us, our focus, because it has a lot to do with why some of us are blocked from having success. And it could be family, it could be spells, it could be something we were attached, entities that was attached to us when we were children. It can really be a lot of things. And if you do it, like I said, once again, in a spiritual way, you have more spiritual experiences, which will benefit you in the long run if you don't do it the hustle way. But always remember, you can do it the hustle way. So, ashe, and have a good day.